Episode 40. I can't believe I got here.
Episode 40.
And it's...
I'm honored.
No, I was just going to say,
Honored.
it makes so much sense that you would be here for the 40th. I remember when I was 40. Anyway, I digress. So I was thinking to myself how I don't think I've ever talked to clients more than I have in the last year
Yeah.
on predictions.
Okay.
I don't think that I've ever had clients ask me where I think the market is going. Like everything's been...
Yeah, because everybody's afraid they missed the bottom. Everybody wants to time the bottom. The one lesson everybody should know is you cannot time the market.
Oh, no, you'll appreciate this because you love Vegas. I'm like, the house always wins.
The house always wins.
House always wins.
Absolutely.
Don't even bother. If you think you've reached the bottom, it's in the rear view. And I also feel like we're in this kind of market where I did a video on it and I got such hates on the trolls came
Really?
out so hard on it on TikTok because I was like, this is the time to go out. I'm not telling anybody to go out and stretch themselves or put them in debt that they can't afford to, but like, this is what I do for a living. And I'm like, before the interest rates start going down and everybody does what everybody else is doing, be the person that goes out there.
Here's the misconception, right? Like every person out there has been trained to think that the only thing available to them is a 5-year mortgage.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Which is not the case. So you could take a year mortgage, you could take a 2-year mortgage, you could take a 3-year mortgage. The bottom line is you could take advantage of non-competition and lower prices and just take a year mortgage and then renegotiate in a year or two when rates are down and you're laughing.
So it's interesting because, two things on that comment. It's a great comment. One is, and I will admit this, is that I don't believe I've ever entrenched myself in how interest rates work, what the options are on a regular basis, working with mortgage brokers as close as, and you know that I work from beginning to end on all my deals, than I ever have in the last few years. So that's one thing. Two is I think that's part of the market timing, like that whole like, okay, so if I buy now, am I going to win by doing that 1 year or the 2 year? Like it's a little bit about playing Russian roulette, right? Like
sure.
a little bit. Like if I get stuck on it, I also think it's so personal. Like there are people who can afford it who are like, I won't do, like they just won't do
Yeah,
variable.
because
They're
they
like,
don't want
no.
to be suckers. They think they'll be seen as suckers, right? But here's the thing. We're already seeing multiple offers. I know I had an offer this week on Monday night and there was 4 offers on the property, 3 offers on the property. I know at least 2 or 3 different agents had offers on the weekend, this past weekend. Mm-hmm. All were in multiple offers.
Right.
Some lost out, some ended up getting the property. But, you know, the thing that's going to save us again is a severe lack of product, which is what we're seeing again. That combined with some certainty in the market in terms of rates, like, I don't know if you timed your 40th episode for the announcement today that they're holding rates.
I did not.
And everybody's predicting that rates at some point will come down this year. But the people who held out last year are now starting to panic. Like anybody I speak to in our office who've had buyers for more than 6 months, they're now like, shit, I got to get something before this thing starts to go up again.
Yes, I agree. So that's where I find it really interesting where, and I was talking to a client about this the other day, is what's changed between, let's say, November, December of last year to the first few weeks of January?
Sure.
Nothing. Like literally, like when you think about it, nothing.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No, hold it. Like from a standpoint, not the way people have reacted. Like what has happened in the market November, December to the first week, like did rates get cut? Was there
inventory went down?
Inventory went down, granted, but it always goes down.
It does, but they don't know that. They don't remember that. We know that.
But my point of asking you this was to lead up to the fact that I've just noticed this. It's a psychological shift. Yes. Like the bottom line is, and you know, our business is so psychological, is January 2nd, my phone started to ring. Yeah. No one was calling.
Well, here's the thing. How long can
December.
a kid look at a toy in a window and stave off buying it, right? People inherently want to buy. They want a new home. They want to move.
They need a new home.
Yeah. And listen, there's a lot more certainty that rates aren't going to rise further. And not only that, there's been a lot of press over the last 2-3 months that rates will come down this year. So that's a huge, huge shift combined with, a lack of inventory is really driving the buyers that held off all last year to start freaking out right now.
I also think that, so you talk about the interest rates. So I found the wording that Bank of Canada used this morning very interesting, and that's where everybody overanalyzes fine, and it'll change next week and the headlines will change and all that stuff. But they were basically saying like there will be no cuts before Q2. Yeah. So there's 2 interest rate hikes.
They're also hinting that there could be further hikes.
No.
I don't know.
But
I don't think it's going to matter this time around because I think the buyers have just decided that it's time to buy and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I think if they hike the rates again, it would. Listen, it depends on what sector and what level and luxury, not luxury, all that stuff. But I do believe psychologically, if they were to hike it, and how much would they hike it? Like not that much. Like unless it's something, because again, as we know, news flash for anyone who doesn't know, that mortgage debt is inflationary. So they do have to level it out. And maybe have a strong stance on it because I just really do not want to see my clients have to deal with.
Of course.
With it for sure. But the rate in April, there's a rate hike announcement or an announcement in April. And then the next one after that is June. And that is where the question is to me is do they pull the chute in April and give us a cut and throw us a bone, or do they wait till June? And it will depend on employment rate. It will depend on inflation rate.
Odds are much more likely of June than April.
I agree.
Like, is this economy going to shit? Sorry to swear on your podcast. I don't know if you allow swearing, but is the economy going to shit? What's the feeling out there? Are we in a recession?
I think we've been in a recession for
what are the employment numbers going to do, like you said? So there are a lot of factors out there. But the biggest factor that's not talked about is immigration to this city and the fact that we do not have enough homes for everybody, not nearly enough homes for everybody. We're not building even close to as many homes as we need. I think they said we need like 100,000 a year and we're maybe doing 10,000 a year.
Right, and think of all the projects that didn't get built last year. And I think it was Benjamin Tull, who I think is the ultimate guru with the crystal ball, who said, like, in a couple of years, the condo market is going to go insane because all of the condo projects that did not get built that would have come to market by then, we will be in a massive shortage.
Sure. Listen, the last couple of months of last year were horrendous. Everybody, horrendous. Everybody moved to the sidelines.
Everyone.
It's very encouraging to see what we're seeing now. I mean, the first week was dead of January, but the last week and a half have really picked up substantially. So that's encouraging. And there becomes a snowball effect, right? The press, unfortunately, is always 30 to 60 days behind us.
Always.
So whatever the public's seeing is not what we're seeing. And in 60 days, when the headlines start to see prices inch upwards or sales inch upwards,
it'll be old news. It's old news.
But it's going to just keep fulfilling the prophecy, right? And it'll just snowball.
Right.
Hopefully.
And I think we also, I think we also realize that, like, what's the saying? Like, if it bleeds, it leads. Like, no one's clicking on the market's great.
Yes.
Right?
The market's inching up.
Inching up. Buyers are finding great homes. Like, they're not. They need to find that edge.
Yes.
And so, but I agree with you. I called our good old friend, our mutual friend Joy Verde the other day because I have a listing coming out in the same building.
I bumped into her a week ago.
Did you?
I did.
Joy.
Yeah.
Oh, I broke the mold. And I called her and I said, listen, last sale literally happened a couple days ago. Talk to me. What happened? Whatever. And she said she had 5 offers on a gut job condo. So I want to touch on the condo market because there's a lot of... As in condos as a product fluctuate much more than single family homes as a rule.
For sure.
And so they feel the effects of whatever is going on much more. For sure. But I would also say that you can't lump any product into one category. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would agree.
Right? So there's a huge lack of large condos in the market. So when I say large, meaning square footage, no builder can afford to build large square foot condos anymore.
Here's the thing. Traditionally, the people that are buying condos are either entering the market or they're exiting the market, right? There hasn't traditionally been the need for family-sized condos. Although I was completely shocked. One of our agents asked me to help her come appraise a place that was in Liberty Village, okay? I have this perception of Liberty Village not having family-sized units, but I went into this unit. They're a family with 2 kids and a nanny, and the unit was...
What?
Yeah. The unit
In
was
Liberty
amazing.
Village?
In Liberty Village. I was shocked.
They're like
Such
shoe
a great
boxes
unit.
there.
This was huge. This was like a big unit. It had 3 bedrooms.
Do you remember the address?
69 East Liberty.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
But sorry, not to like go into a tangent, but why would a family want to live in Liberty Village also?
Because
like,
they love the lifestyle. And not only...
It's like rental central, though.
Not only this, there are tons of families in the building that I was unaware of. The schools are actually pretty good. There's all sorts of like daycare centers and activities to do with kids. I was shocked.
You heard it here first,
yeah, I
people.
had no idea.
Like when I have a client who wants to look for a condo with a family, I'd be like, Lawrence Park.
Yeah, of course.
Like I would not think.
I know.
So interesting.
But, you know, for the...
Cost per square foot, do you remember? I'm so curious.
I don't remember.
Fine.
But for the people that got stuck, I mean, that's perfect. Like this was a young couple that bought the place when they got married and they had 2 kids. They never wanted to leave because the lifestyle was so great.
Okay.
And they've loved living there. They, in fact, wouldn't move except they found a house that they fell in love with.
It's unusual. I mean, there aren't a lot of families that want to live in the core, for sure.
And the big size units are luxury units. Like you and I just sold one on Rose Hill, and it's
oh my God, the bungalow
huge.
in the sky.
Yeah, like 3,000 square feet, and it's a single woman moving in there. Right?
Crazy.
2 dogs.
Who? Yeah.
2
you
dogs.
to do a podcast just on those
just
2
on
dogs
dogs
one day. Yeah. Oh my God, I lost a year off my life. But no, for sure. And she also doesn't even live in the city most of the year.
Not
but anyway,
New York.
that's a
it's
whole
not
other.
New York, right? There's a societal shift to families living in condos here that never existed here. You go to Manhattan, people live in apartment buildings. That's
but they're
just
also
what they
rentals. No, for sure. And there's a rental and like a whole rental environment there as well. No, years and years ago in the same building I'm bringing this condo out in, I sold a condo, a 2-bedroom. And again, like I also think it's affordability. Like there was this family, they had 2 kids and they were going to split one of the rooms to another bedroom so they could fit their family into a 1,400 square foot condo at Bathurst and Steeles.
The condos definitely went up too high. Like consider this. When I started in this
During
industry,
COVID, when did they go up too high?
Just since the entire time I've been in this industry, 20 years. Because when I started, the concept was when you turned mid-60s, early 70s, you could sell your house, buy an apartment, buy a condo, and you would put so much money in your pocket and you'd have a place to live.
Not anymore.
Within 10, 15 years, it became you'd sell your house and you'd have to put in $200,000 to buy the condo that you wanted to live the rest of your life in.
And have a second mortgage with your maintenance fees.
Yeah. So speculation and investors drove the condo market way too high. And now it's going to balance out. Like users need to become the dominant focus of condos, not investors. Not overseas investors. Like you got to take that into account as well. Like foreign buyers are no longer, right? So that seriously affects the condo market.
They were never really, like when you looked at the percentage of foreign buyers, when they brought that foreign buyers tax in what, 2017, whatever that was. Am I getting my years wrong? I am getting my years wrong. Anyway, well, I remember because it halted the market to a standstill. But when you looked at the numbers, the percentage of foreign ownership was actually, compared to, let's say, Vancouver, was so low in Ontario, but yet it shut the market down for a couple
Take that low number, right? And instead of putting it all over Ontario,
just put it
into 4
condos.
blocks downtown condos, Toronto or Yonge and Sheppard.
Fair enough.
That's what they were buying. And you would have agents walk into sales centers on the day and they'd have sales sheets for 30 units, 20 units, 10 units. Like And those people never set foot in Toronto. Maybe they had a kid here or whatever. It was just to get money here, and it was just to invest here.
Yeah. Well,
And
yeah.
now that's changed, right? So you could have predicted that the new construction condos would be affected the most by that change, in my opinion. I don't know if we've gone way too off topic.
No. It's all, no, I think it's because I want to go back to I want to stay on the condos because I think it's going to be the one sector I'm not sure we can predict. Like, I think single family homes, I think we're going to see, and I did a video on this the other day. It's not if it rebounds, it's when it'll rebound and to what extent will it rebound. The question now is with condos. So I agree, investors have taken a side, are staying on the sidelines. We both have tons of investor clients. The numbers don't make sense to them. So they're not buying them up as quickly as possible. They're thinking about it. They're kind of coming back. But then investors are not buying the 1,400 square foot condos.
Here's the thing.
Yes.
As the housing market goes up, when I'm talking about residential houses like freehold, it will drag the condo market up because as people can't afford houses again, they will buy condos just to get into the market. Right. So it's inevitable. At some stage, it's inevitable. The question is just affordability and making sure you're not house poor and that you can cover your nut. And that's it. There's no bad time to get into the real estate market. Yeah, there's going to be shitty years here and there. But overall, the longer you hang on to something, the better off you're going to do.
You have to hold on to it for...
Yeah.
I mean, I had clients who referred to me in November, like October, November, came to me and said, we'd like to buy a condo. We want to live in the East End, told me their budget. And I said, you're going to buy a freehold with that, right? But if you do it now, you can't wait until next year. You've got to look for something now. And even during the crappiest market we've seen in however long, I think they said it was like worse since 1997, there were still multiples on anything between $900 and $1 million. Not even that good, okay? But like something that just didn't have like, a murder basement, and it was still there was still. And I think that going into this year though, I would predict that it will still come down to pricing.
Of course.
I think there'll be multiples, and you hear multiples, and you hear us talking about multiples, but it's because they were priced properly. Because the things that I see that are still sitting on the market are not priced properly.
Yes. The big difference too now is that sellers have come to their senses, right? Like for the first 6 months to a year, sellers wouldn't listen to us when we took, but what do you mean it's only worth this? My neighbor sold for this much 2 years ago. Yeah, well, this is the reality, blah, blah, blah. But now they've caught up, and I don't know whether it's because they've gotten smart or they're just in a position now where they have to sell, so they're actually listening to advice. But any home today priced right, that's quality. If they listen to their agent and they price it with the right strategy, you could get multiple offers. One thing's for sure, you're going to sell now. And I think the worst the average days on market got before Christmas was about 51 days on market. Yeah. And in the heyday, it was what, like 7? 9?
No, so what I also found interesting about it, and again to quote Benjamin Tal, was it was a buyer's market without buyers. Like I've seen bad markets where like, you see things selling for much lower than you want to, and there's people out there. No one was doing anything. Yeah. Like it wasn't even like things were just selling for really like a lot less, and the market bottom. Nothing. I had a property in Lauren Park. I will tell you, there was not a single sale. Showings, not a single sale in the entire area for 10 weeks. I don't care what like price point it was. 3 of them sold in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, there you go.
Of January. Like luxury, mid-range, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think the other thing that the public doesn't realize is, there's all this talk about the spring market. The public, all 20 years that I've been doing this, they've never realized that our spring market actually starts in January.
I know, I say it's not when the flowers come up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's now. And agents, I can tell you, over the last 20 years, agents make 3/4 of their income in the first 4 months of the year. Every year.
4 months, yeah. It's like 70-30, I was always told. Yeah. Yeah, when I got into it more.
Yeah.
So here's an interesting prediction.
Yeah.
So, and I was talking to my team about this the other day, like looking at, their goals and how they're budgeting and how they're going to achieve it. And it's a moving target. So knowing it's an 80-20 rule, you say. It's an 80-20 between now and May. If they do start cutting in June,
Yeah.
do you see that percentage changing this year? Listen, 1,000%, I will put all the money on the bet that we see a much better second half of the year than we did last year, without a doubt. That's an easy one.
It's really all going to depend, because I think we're going to have a good first quarter anyway, without the cuts.
I do too, but
so it just might help it continue. Exactly. I don't know if it'll be better though, but
not better than the first half, but
I think we're in for a good year.
Okay.
I think we're in for a good year.
Just to go back to the condos, I think that we're going to see, I agree with you. I think we're going to start seeing the good, affordable units sell. And I think we're going to start seeing people want to start purchasing the larger units again. I think those were really no, listen, I did a run at one point. There was 78 condos from Yorkville over to Church and Bloor at one time, with an average of 85 days on market. It was insane, with 3 units sold. 3. This was over a 2-month period. I think those will start to sell again.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, I feel like we'll just have to have you back at the
Let's see how we peg things.
I was going to say, let's see how our predictions come true in April.
Cool.
All right. Thanks, Darren.
You're welcome.
All right.
Happy 40th.
Number 40 is in the bag.
Number 40.
Thanks.